with Michigan head coach, now former head coach, taking the job with the Los Angeles Chargers. We have to ask the question, will the Chicago Bears regret not going all in on Jim Harbaugh? It's just me today, ladies and gentlemen. You know we're going to talk about it, breaking down on this beautiful night. But you got to hit the intro first.
Now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Chicago Bears Central. Today is just me. Well, tonight, it's just me for your Bears Nightly episode that I want to bring to you guys since we just found out the news regarding Jim Harbaugh and him now becoming the head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. If you're tuning in with me today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you lock in with the number one spot for all Chicago Bears content. Let's get into it. But hey, Jim Harbaugh accepted the deal and accepted the terms to become the new head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. Before we get into the content, I want to say this is a great opportunity for the Los Angeles Chargers, and I believe a great opportunity for Jim Harbaugh. But will the Bears regret not going after Jim Harbaugh? For me, as of right now, I will say no. Now, if Jim Harbaugh goes in that AFC West in one of the toughest conference with Patrick Mahomes in that division, you might say, hey, if he goes there, he wins the championship, you might be a little salty if you're the Chicago Bears. But as of right now, I'm going to go out here and say no. They should not regret not going after Jim Harbaugh. We know what the Chicago Bears have always been. We've been a team that has not matched coaches, have not matched players up pretty well. And from what I've seen right now, the team and the organization is building some stability. Some stability requires you to not panic when things gets a little shaky. And for the Chicago Bears this season, to start off the season, it was a bit shaky. But to end the season, I believe the Chicago Bears, they have a 5-game winning streak at home to end the season. So you got to look at that. You got to look at the players that was on the team. You got to look at the improvement, and you got to look at the head coach himself. Now, I know there's going to be some people that say, well, Jim Harbaugh is absolutely a better coach. I will not argue that. And everybody knows that I'm a Michigan man, so it hurts to lose this coach. And you know what I'm saying, from Michigan. But I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so I have to keep it a buck with you all. When you want to build stability, you can't just be irrational or be impulsive with certain decisions that you make as an organization. It's been a very long time since the Chicago Bears have established some type of stability. Some may argue, say, hey, we had some stability with Lovie Smith. You know what I'm saying? He had a nice tenure here. He went to a Super Bowl. He had multiple winning seasons, etc., etc. Matt Nagy, he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? He had 2018 and then it got a little bit rocky. John Fox has some stuff. Yeah, he never really had stability. So let's keep it a buck there. Mark Trestman, we really don't want to get into that, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't make me go that route. But as of right now, in season 2, Matt Eberflus has improved the team. He's made the defense a top 10 defense once he started to call plays. The intentions are to still call plays, but still have a defensive coordinator that he can work with to help out with some of the schematics. So you got to take that for what it is. Now, understand that a lot of people are going to come out here and they're going to be a little frustrated and say that Matt Eberflus is. Me personally, I was on board with that. I still am not all the way off the board. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying screw Matt Eberflus, get rid of him, throw him to the wood, and let him just rot or move the emotions out of it and think logically when it comes down to things like this. If you want stability, you got to give guys a chance. And if we keeping it a buck, Matt Eberflus improved the record. He's maintained the locker room. That's the biggest thing. He maintained the locker room. You had new guys and Montez Sweat coming right over, pretty much saying that, hey, these guys, the coaching staff, I love them. And he's the newcomer. He could have been. I know that it's going to be some people that say, well, what else is he supposed to say? No, to keep it a buck, some players will give you different signs. We seen DJ Moore come out at the end of the season and say, well, I feel like we could have played better offensively. We took our foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying? It was fine. Like, he tried to show some light and be professional for Luke Getsy, but you can tell that it was BS. So when these guys speak on Matt Eberflus, we have to take it for what it really is. Jalen Johnson likes playing for this guy. Montez Sweat loves playing for this guy. TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Jaquan Brisker, they all speak of Matt Eberflus in great regards. And the same thing can be said about some offensive players. You know what I'm saying? I understand that Justin Fields came out, called out the offensive coaching staff. He never really included Matt Eberflus in that because Matt Eberflus is not an offensive guy. But we seen Cole Kmet go on CHGO and give Matt Eberflus his kudos for how he's a player's coach, for how he's able to listen to the players and be able to help these guys in the best way possible. So rightfully so, man, you can't continuously move coach to coach. Like, I heard this example earlier today while watching one of the shows on ESPN this morning, and they brought up the Philadelphia Eagles. They've let guys go, like a Andy Reid, probably prematurely. You know what I'm saying? Then they got Doug Peterson. He won a Super Bowl for this franchise, for that franchise. They let him go. Nick Sirianni got him to a Super Bowl, eventually lost it to one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and they were still talking about moving on him. I understand there was some reward in that by constantly moving, but it's a bit shaky. And for the Chicago Bears organization, who's never really had a stable foundation, we cannot continuously move in a way that jeopardizes us trying to establish greatness. I understand that Jim is great. He is absolutely phenomenal. He is absolutely a great head coach, but we don't know how great Matt Eberflus can be. Not yet. We do know that he's at least at this part, a great motivator. He had a team that was 3-14 the previous season, still playing their tail off in games against the Miami Dolphins, in games against the Dallas Cowboys, in games against the Buffalo Bills, and we seen nobody quits. It was still some tough games that the Bears played in a season that was pretty much lost with no talent. Then they got the talent this season. It got a rocky start. Don't get me wrong. But once the team made the adjustments, once he took over and started to grasp and real land things schematically on the defensive side, you seen the defense rise to the occasion, go ahead and become a top 10 defense, and you've seen improvements all around the board. Was the offense something to point at? Absolutely. And that's on Matt Eberflus. But the thing is now he went out and got the best offensive coordinator on the market in many people's eyes. Shane Waldron is now a part of this staff, and Matt Eberflus was so good at that he was able to draw him in and have Shane Waldron believe in his vision. So it's either, hey, Matt Eberflus is a great guy, you know what I'm saying, with great speaking skills, or what? Like, how, or you know what I'm saying, like, how could, or was it Ryan Poles behind that? It's a lot of things you think about, but it's no question during Matt Eberflus' time can we point to a time to where we say, damn, the Bears absolutely quit. And when things got rough, we cannot come out here and say that it's quit. So right now, as Matt Eberflus continues on through his career, there will be close comparisons between Matt Eberflus and Jim Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be a lot of people that say the Bears should have went hard after Jim Harbaugh. We're going to bring up the history. He played for us. He's right there in the Midwest, et cetera, et cetera. But no one knows exactly what Jim Harbaugh was going to do because there are so many questions surrounding the Chicago Bears offense that are not present with the Los Angeles Chargers. You have your star quarterback. You have Austin Eckler. You have great wide receivers. You have a decent offensive line. You have players all around the defensive side. They will have to fix their cap stuff, but they still have players all around. So the situation in my mind was the Los Angeles Chargers for Jim Harbaugh. Yes, the Bears could have potentially got him, but why would you go out, fire Matt Eberflus, and then bank on getting Jim Harbaugh? And if you don't know if he was going to come to the franchise, now you're getting rid of a head coach who improved the team, who's moving in the right direction, and you just let him go. Thought you was going to get your guy in Jim Harbaugh, and now you got to go out. If he signs with the LA Chargers, you have to do a complete 180 and go in the opposite direction to try to figure out who's that now head coach to replace Matt Eberflus. It just wouldn't have been a good idea, in my opinion. That's just me. It wouldn't have been a great idea just to fire Matt Eberflus and say, hey, we don't know if we can get him, but we're going to try. We're going to go all in. We're going to give him a blank check, have him sign it and say, huh, come on. That sound good. And it sound good when a lot of media people say it. But that's not the reality. That's not the reality. Because a lot of people, you can look at an opportunity and say, hey, this job is going to pay me 6 figures. We'll just say $100K. But I'm going to be at work all the time. I'm going to be stressed the hell out. Woo, woo, woo. But then you got an opportunity that might pay you $80,000 a year. You get to be at home. There's no overtime. You don't work weekends. Which opportunity are you going to take? That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta pick your poison or what you want. And I believe the Bears made the right decision. You can't bank on a guy if you don't even know that if he was coming out of Michigan anyway. Yeah, there was a lot of speculation, but he could have rightfully turned around and went right back to Michigan and coached those kids that played their ass off for him. While he was going through all that stuff. To me, that was one of the hardest things he probably ever had to do, to leave those kids, to leave those young men in Michigan. It's not just because I'm a fan. That's a hard thing to do. But hey, I don't think the Bears should have any regrets if he goes on to win AFC West championships and a Super Bowl. Chop it up, charge it to the game, y'all. Charge it to the game. We cannot live in this revisionist history and look at it and say, hey, we could have got Jim Harbaugh. That would have been us. No, it wouldn't. We don't know that. He still got Patrick Mahomes in his division. This ain't Ohio State. This is Patrick fucking Mahomes in that division. Let's be frank. So I don't think the Bears should have any regrets. I don't think you all listening and joining in should have any regrets. This is what it is. This is how we're going to move. We are trying to build something. When you're building and you start breaking and then start planning down that foundation, you don't take a jackhammer to the corner of the foundation and say, yeah, we're going to change this part of it because we don't feel like it's a right edge. No, you let the damn foundation dry and you start to put wood and all that stuff up so you can see what kind of house you're going to, what kind of establishment that you're going to have. So right now the foundation is set with Matt Eberflus. We're going to rock with him whether we like it or not, and we're going to see what happens. That's it. It is what it is. But hey, that's it for me today. For tonight, rambling. I don't think that the Chicago Bears will regret not going after Jim Harbaugh. It might sting a little bit if he wins a championship. I can't flex. But at the end of the day, you do this business stuff with no regrets. That's just the cost of business. But hey, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you tuned in tonight. If you want to call in and leave your take on anything I said or anything that's on your mind, call in 773-242-9336. It's another episode of Chicago Bears Central. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.